This is your boy, Pastor Sander Cameau, and we want to thank everybody for watching our show, The Real Word. You know, this is me, of course, and you have your brother.
What's up, y'all? Happy Monday. I'm glad to be here with you guys today. I want to thank God. I want to thank God for everything that He has done, all the blessings that He has bestowed upon us. This weekend, I was blessed and honored to welcome my daughter into the world today, so I thank God for that. She was delivered healthy, and her mother's healthy as well. I also want to say rest in peace to my grandfather. My daughter was born on the same day that my grandfather died, a year later. So I want to thank God for that. I want to thank God for all the blessings. Today is also my 1-year wedding anniversary. So shout out to my wife, shout out to God. Yeah, thank you. So just thank you for all of that. Brother Sanders, I know you lost a near and dear friend this weekend.
Yes, I just want to send my condolence to everybody in Crown Heights who have just not only just lost Webb, but a lot of our friends. It's been a very traumatic situation. It's been a lot. But before we get into that, we'll get into that, but we want to introduce our guests first and foremost and let the people know who you are and everything like that.
Introduce yourself.
Hi everyone, my name is Mitsuka Atis. What should I say?
Tell the people who you are, what you're about.
My name is Mitsuka Atis. I'm a 22-year-old young woman, SDA woman. I am also a singer. I usually sing at different events, mostly church events. I would consider myself a contemporary Christian artist. Okay. And yeah, that's a little bit about me.
That's what's up. So let me ask you a quick question. How do you feel about what you do in regards to your ministry? Because a lot of people are blessed by your singing ministry. I mean, I'm blessed by your singing ministry. I know a lot of pastors of mine are blessed by your singing ministry. So how do you feel about what God is doing through your ministry and everything like that?
I mean, I think it's wonderful. I think for me the most valuable parts of my ministry, I guess, or the reactions I get from my ministry are when I get the one-to-one interactions with people where they come to me and they tell me how a song that I sang blessed them, or even like the single that I just came out with. Go Purchase That, by the way. I just came out with my first single, More of You, back in November, I believe. So even hearing the testimonies that people have come to me and spoken to me about how the song speaks about their life, or it speaks about something that they've gone through, it makes me feel like it's all worth it, because if one person is blessed by it, then that means the world to me.
That's amazing. That's amazing. In regards to your profession, what do you do?
I actually just graduated college. My degree was... I just graduated college. I graduated college like a year ago. Last May 2017. My degree was in public health. I took a gap year after graduating, and I'll be starting law school in the fall. I took a gap year to apply to law school, so yeah, thank you.
What school are you going to be going to?
I actually have to make a decision by this Sunday. I haven't announced which school that that I chose yet, but I have a pretty good idea about the school that I want to choose. I haven't announced it yet, so okay, I'm not going to say that, but I have a pretty good idea about the school that I want to go to. So.
Is it New York?
Yes, it's in New York. I'm staying. That's where I want to practice eventually, so I want to stay in New York.
And I wanted to ask, what kind of law?
Right now, I'm really thinking about immigration law, because immigration law, just immigration in general, it's a really hot topic right now, and it's so needed. And because a lot of my influence, the influences in me going to law school had to do with my family and, coming from an immigrant family. So I've been thinking about that. I've also been, as of late, thinking about international law, and also just, dealing with, family law. But I kind of, researched that a little bit, and I felt like it would be emotionally draining. So right now, immigration law is really what I'm
So I wanted to ask, with the climate, of what's going on, because why is immigration law such a hot commodity right now?
I think it's because a lot of people, they either don't know their rights, they don't know what they're entitled to. That's just one part of it. And then secondly, immigration lawyers are needed, when everybody's going through the whole process of either obtaining a green card or a temporary protected status, whatever it may be, the paperwork, the filing, and all that stuff. Sometimes you just need somebody along the journey with you that can inform you of your rights and that can explain the things that you wouldn't understand on your own.
Amazing. You're getting love, I see.
Beautiful. So, in regards to singing, right? Tell the people where they can find your first single.
You guys can find the first single on all media platforms. You can, you can stream it. I guess that's where you can stream it on Spotify, Apple Music. You can find a music video for more of you on YouTube, and you can purchase it on Apple.
Is there any music videos coming up after this?
We're working on it. We're still working on the songs, and the song comes before the music video. So we're kind of working on that yet. But yeah, there's definitely more music videos coming out.
Definitely. So when is expected? When we say soon, like in a month or two? Or?
No, absolutely not.
Okay.
Like I said, we're still working on the music. I'm actually trying to get started on my first album. So we're doing a lot of the basic work right now, like just laying the groundwork for that to happen.
Amazing.
What was your inspiration for your first single?
Woo. So
You're getting love, Masuka.
So my
getting love, you see?
So the first single is called More of You, and it basically talks. So the inspiration for it was I was reading Romans 8 and Romans 8 verse 26, I believe, and it was talking about how the Spirit intercedes for you in the times that with your groanings, and for me, during that time, I wrote it actually when I was 18, I believe. I wrote it when I was 18, which was 3 years before the song actually came out. So I wrote it when I was going through a really rough time in life, and I felt like I didn't really know, like I didn't really want to pray. I didn't want to get down on my knees and actually pray. So, I was crying a lot, and I just felt like I just had a heavy heart. And then I realized that, you don't always have to, like, actually kneel down to pray. And you don't even often have to speak something, because even in a sigh or in your tears, like, God knows what you're trying to say. So that was basically the inspiration for the song at that moment.
The Bible tells you basically that there are different ways of prayer.
Right.
You can pray sitting down. You could pray walking. You could pray prostrate. You could pray any form of way. It's not even about. It's not even about just the mode of prayer. It's about your heart. You see what I'm saying? Because look at the pagans. When they were praying to their God, it was long, vain repetitions. And Elijah just prayed a simple prayer just like that, and the fire basically devoured the water. So it's all about the heart. It's not about eloquent words or sophisticated speech. It's about sincerity and being genuine. You could say, God, I need you. And that in itself,
and that's what the song talks about.
Say, God, I need you, and by you saying, God, I need you, or God, help me, or God, come through for me, or God, I have nowhere to go but you, or just you groaning or moaning, that's what counts. And I think that's what it is, because sometimes, not only just Rickard talks about this, talk about, when I ask people to pray, what should I say? You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You could just say, God, just thank you. And the prayer is over.
Exactly.
And it's about God being approving the prayer, other than men. So that's what it's about.
Absolutely. And I think even you basically just said, like, the lyrics of the song, like the bridge says, Lord, surround me, I need you now, my weaknesses, and I fall apart. So it's basically, speaking and saying that, God, like, you know the issue that I'm having right now. Like, I don't even have to say it to you, So do what you need to do. Like, I need you right now. I need more of you. So yeah, that's what the song says. So see, you got the message.
Okay, see, one thing I read is that they were saying that how even people that worship Satan, they spend hours and hours praying to Satan in order to get power. But it seems like us as followers of God, we spend less time praying. A lot of us, especially nowadays, the youth, a lot of them they won't humble themselves to pray. As in, like, even when you're doing the lesson in the morning with them, or maybe when you ask them to pray in church, they're like, no, I don't want to pray. And when you ask them why, they're like, I don't know, I don't want to pray. I think sometimes it stems from either the low self-esteem. Sometimes they feel like they don't know what to say. Some people, they might feel like, no, I don't got time for that. Or some people might say, oh no, I might say the wrong thing. Like, I always use this example of someone denying themselves. Is one time I was going to school downtown Brooklyn, and it was a Muslim. It was the middle of the day, and right in front of the court building where like a lot of people walking back and forth, he kneeled down on a dirty floor, and he put his face to the ground, and he prayed. Like, to this day, I've never seen a Christian show that kind of humility.
They're not ashamed.
I basically just wanted to basically say, to add to what you're saying too, I think it is also a misunderstanding of prayer. Naomi just gave you a shout out of your song. She said it's a beautiful song. And Jenny, wow, she said, yay, Masuka.
Yeah, Jenny was actually, she was my music video girl. When we were doing a music video, I reached out to her for her to be the main girl in the video and kind of like put into motion the image and the vision that I had for the song. So thank you, Jenny.
Yeah, that's beautiful. You got support. You got a lot of support. But I wanted to add what Rickard's saying. I think there's a misconception of in order for the prayer you have to have flowery words, or you have to have different form of ingredients, when the only ingredient that God asks and mandates from us is be sincere, be genuine, and talk to me as you would talk to a friend. Talk to me as to someone that you would talk to, someone special. And that's what it's about.
Right. Even like I know one of the best advice that I had gotten years ago was to start a prayer journal, and now like my prayer journal is like so valuable to me, because there's some people like, you know, they're not really big on words, but when it comes to writing, like they can write a whole book. So, you know, people like that, like having a prayer journal is invaluable, because, you know, and the best thing about having a prayer journal is you can write down your prayers, and then like 3 or 4 months later you go back and you're reading, you're just like, wow, like I was praying for this and now I have it. Like you can actually see it, like your prayers being answered. So yeah, you're absolutely right about that.
That's amazing. I wanted to basically ask, so your passion, I know other than singing, is there anything special that you would love to tell the people, that you have in mind?
I mean, nothing to say. I mean, I'm a woman of many passions. Like I love singing, I love writing. I'm passionate about a lot of different things, which I think it's something that a lot of people would say about me. They always say like, Masuka's always doing like 1,000 different things. Like right now, you know, I'm working and, you know, I'm going to law school, but I'm also focusing on music, and I'm also doing an internship related to public relations. So it's like I kind of dabble in everything. I don't limit myself in terms of what I'm passionate about.
Okay, that's amazing. Yeah. All right, so I just wanted to go back to what Rickard asked me prior before about my boy. Basically, I think which has been targeted, which I think is beautiful. That
explain to the people the situation.
Well, so basically the situation is basically this. I've known Saheed, my brother, for a very long time, since I was in 2nd grade, and basically when I started rapping the 3rd grade, he basically took me in, him, a lot of my brothers in the neighborhood and everything like that, and it was a wonderful experience. Of course, we did things that were not Christ-like. Of course, we smoked and we drank at a very young age, but very excessively. The thing is that, you know, just got caught up with a lot of things, but just making music, just making secular music and everything like that. And to be honest with you, like I said, you know, like any other hood, you know, living in Crown Heights, a lot of brothers make choices. Okay, I'm going to get back to that. I got you. A lot of us make choices. And a lot of my friends, they made choices. Unfortunately, that led them to unfortunate circumstances and unfortunate consequences. And, you know, we lost a lot of our friends. I buried 20 of my friends one summer. We lost a lot of our friends. 75 of our friends died from gun violence, drug activity. Some who got caught up in the court system committed suicide. And our community didn't really have the opportunity that it has now, or that it needs, because a lot of hoods are suffering, a lot of hoods are struggling. And I think for Saheed, losing a lot of his childhood friends, because, you know, he's 34 and I'm 31, so I think that had to be very, very rough on him, because I know one of our closest friends that got killed, he got shot over 25 times by situation, gang affiliation, and another friend also too got shot up in the park. So I mean, I know that it did a lot to him, and due to the mere factor that, you know, if he went to counseling earlier, you know, because we all deal with pain differently.
Yeah.
I think maybe it could have helped the situation. You see what I'm saying? And it just went worse. It just went worse. I know his family is Christian. I know that they did the best that they could in regards to prayer and bringing him into evaluation. Because, you know, like they're not gonna let nobody out evaluation if they're gonna be a risk to the community or to themselves.
Yeah.
So I don't like I said, you know, there's definitely mentally depression that nobody normal. I want to just be very clear about this.
That is so true.
Nobody normal, myself or Rickard, would go and just bring a weapon or bring an item
or fake like the other
or fake like it's a gun. Like, I'm gonna be honest with you. There's times I may be frustrated, or Rickard may be frustrated. I mean, like, you know what? To take it off and just smack everybody today. You see what I'm saying? What does that accomplish? You see what I'm saying? Going around and smacking people or hurting people that didn't do, you know, harm. That's definitely not, that's definitely not normal. It's very abnormal. So, you know, for a fact that he was not right in the mind. And like I said, mental depression, you can be cognitive of the person. You see what I mean? You can be cognitive of yourself, but there's times you can be off. You follow me what I'm saying? And I know if I was there, I know if any of our friends were there, I know for a fact that we would have been like, you know, we would have stopped them. Mm-hmm. So we're not no way justifying his action, even though he's off. He's not there. Clearly he's not there. He's not mentally stable. You follow me? Because of depression of losing a lot of friends. So in regards to that, what my problem is I felt that the police officer should have at least said freeze. You see what I'm saying? Freeze, put your hands up before they shot. But like I said, you know, I can't speak in behalf for them in regards to that situation, because from a cop's perspective, you know, in the line. But however, they could have at least, if they was going to shoot him, at least not shoot him to kill him. Right. You follow what I'm saying? Yeah, or apprehend them a different form of way that they apprehend other people, because it was 15 shots. I'm keeping it real with you. The thing is that, like, for example, like there was a woman in Staten Island, right? And she had a shotgun, and she was going to tell her, it's like a month ago, and she basically she threatened the police officer and said, I'm going to kill you, I'm going to shoot you, and they apprehended her properly. Boy, they didn't kill her. You follow me? The situation in Florida, it's the same thing. The young man that killed over 10 to 15 young people, with the teachers and the professionals, they apprehended him properly. The young man who went to the church and killed the pastor and killed the congregation. The congregation. Thank you for adding, my brother.
Daniel Roof or something?
Yeah, Dylan Roof. You got it, my brother. Yeah, Dylan Roof. He received a burger, a bulletproof and a burger. But not only that too, I know people that are extradited and they get picked up in a van. Like, they're not even gonna stop the van for them to use the bathroom. That they will have to, you know, poo on themselves before they go to prison because of the color of their skin. So there is a double standard.
So you're saying it's a race thing?
I believe there is a race thing. I really believe there's a race thing. I believe that. I believe. Oh, thank you, Marcia Lewis. Thank you for the love. Thank you for proving what I said. I believe it's a race thing. I just feel like we could just. I mean, like I said, I'm not excusing, because his behavior is not normal. You know, when you have everybody has a form of PTSD, but due to the mere fact of the gravity of losing a lot of friends, you know, it is what it is, man. I just feel like the cops could have just did a little bit more better. And like I said, I don't excuse what happened in regards to his end. Definitely something is definitely off there. and we should. If I was there, I would have stopped them. I know if anybody was in that neighborhood, they would have stopped them. And it's a very unfortunate situation. So that's my take on it. That we just have to do a little bit more better. So right now I know that his body is they still have his body because the New York Attorney General is having an investigation because now the cops are switching stories. They said at one time that they did not say Freeze just shot. Then now they say that they say Freeze did. So it's funny, and they still haven't identified the 4 police officers, 2 undercover and 2 with uniform. So it's a lot going on. So just keep us in your prayers, and we just hey, listen, you wouldn't think something like this would have happened to us. You know what I'm saying? In regards to police officer, I'm taking that back because a couple of years ago, a friend of mine also got shot by police officers too, as well too. They told him to stop, he didn't stop. They shot him as well too. And one of my friends won a lawsuit because of that. The city paid him over $100 million. So yeah, we gotta watch ourselves, do our best to watch ourselves, but the cops gotta just do a little bit better. You see what I'm saying? That's my only take about it.
Do you think mental health is a huge problem within our community, and there's a stigma attached to it to black people?
Yeah, I feel like there's a stigma attached to it because I think it's a stigma because when you tell a person when you say mental health, people think that you're automatically crazy and nobody want to associate themselves with you. And I don't think that was the case with Webb because we knew he was off, but he still got love. But I just feel like in general that if it's a situation that's a little bit more extreme, that there are people who don't, it depends. I feel like we could just do a little bit more to just bring awareness up. It's okay to go to counseling. It's okay to take medication. It's okay to seek a therapist. It's okay to seek a psychiatrist. Thank you. It's okay, to talk to your pastor. It's okay to tell your friends, listen, I'm going through a situation. Let's go out to eat. Let's go to the movie. Let's eat something. Let's do something nice. Let's go out to dance. Let's go party. Let's go to Connecticut and let's go kart. I think those things are very, very important. You know what I'm saying? And I think for me, what has done for me in regards to, because I've lost a lot of my friends, and I think what's really helped me to really, thank you for the love. I appreciate the love. I see you. I think what's really helped me, I don't know who's doing this, but that's love. I appreciate the love. I think what we need to do as a people is simply what's worked for me, is love, helping people. That has been my therapy. You know what I'm saying? To really give back. Because when you see so much violence, you want to just take the negative and turn it into positive, and that's what has worked best for me. Yeah. And I can't speak for him, and I can't speak for others because I know for a lot of the brothers. It's frustrating. It's enough, and that's what the guys are doing. Getting involved with the music, which is beautiful. You know what I'm saying? Some guys use their outlet to get high because they're just tired of just losing friends. And we gotta just do a little bit more better. I don't believe in saying F the police. I don't think that's constructive because a lot of people would live it, and I understand their frustration. That's a fact. Yo, that's right, Jenny. That's right. She told me that. She said encouragement. Yup, just a word of encouragement goes a long way. That in itself is a beautiful thing. Just say, friend, listen. Hey, you good? You wanna do something? Yeah. So I don't think after the police. I think we just gotta just do a little bit more better as a people.
And I even think that there's an aspect of what you mentioned that has a lot to do with this connotation of being resilient. Like a lot of us black people, we've been labeled as resilient. Yeah. So I think we kind of like take on that label and kind of, we take it to the extreme, where if we feel like we're experiencing something, we kind of psych ourselves out and say, we have to deal with it, and we try to cope with it or bottle it in rather than speaking to somebody. And I think that has a lot to do with the stigma that surrounds it. Just this idea that we have to be strong, that we can't be weak, or not being resilient, or not being honest about, or being honest about you not being able to deal with something in a specific period of time, then, you know, that definitely has something to do with it. We think that we can't talk to somebody, we can't visit a therapist, or even in the black families, in the black communities, a lot of, you know, we hear a lot, you know, keep your business to yourself, don't say something, or don't speak to people about it. And I think it's that idea is hurting the black community so much, because even we were talking about that earlier, the idea of transparency. Like, sometimes transparency is what brings healing, and the fact that a lot of us people in the black community, we sometimes aren't transparent. We're not transparent with our pain. We're not transparent about what we're really dealing with. It kind of gets us to these, you know, to a point where, you know, we can't deal with it, and we kind of explode, and things like this happen.
I just wanted to basically add on to this too is what another thing that really kind of just caught me off guard was basically just the narrative and just the lies. Because the thing is that, you know, a person like I said, even though he's off mentally because of depression, the reason why, you know, we always frustrated because he always like a brother to us. You follow me? And it was just this narrative in regards to just, you know, defending him, you know, because, you know, the news station would ask, you know, myself and others, because, you know, I was on the news last week, you know, like I told you, you know, we on TV every other Friday. Praise God for that. And just talking about just basically, you know, that he wasn't homeless. He wasn't homeless. You know, he was a father. Came from a good family. Unfortunately, like I said, you know, like all of us living in the hood, you know, you gotta level up. Things happen. You gotta level up. You gotta learn how to be a gentleman. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference between being a gangster and between being a criminal. There's a very big difference. You know what I'm saying? A person who's a gangster is somebody who's taking care of his family, taking care of his business. A criminal just does things just to do things, stupid things. You follow me? So there's a big difference. Like, for example, what Rickard is doing, that's what gangsters do. You know, take care of their business. You know what I'm saying? Or being a gentleman. That's just for the legalists who are watching right now. So just being a gentleman. And I think you know, that's what we were so livid about, you know, just to see our brother, one of our brothers, go away and everything like that. So I think it's very important to always defend your friends, to just be very clear-headed, to look at things subjectively and everything like that. So we got to just do a little bit more better as a community, and as police officers, like I said, it's a little bit more better and everything like that. Because I think only one case where a police officer actually went to prison was the Walter Scott situation. And he lied about Walter basically shooting him, but thank God there was somebody who actually had a camera and showed that Walter was running away from him, and Walter shot him to death. So we just need to do a little bit more better. We just need to be a little bit more fair and everything. That's all.
But the support was real in regards to the protests and people that came out.
Yeah, the love was amazing. My son came out. Tamika Mallory came out. Al Sharpton came out. Al Sharpton for coming to my hood. We had Jamani Williams. We had state senators that came out. We had congressmen that came out. We also had a lot of people from the Nines and from East Flatbush and from the Floss. Like, there's a lot of people who respected Saheed and who he was as a person. He was a great human being, a great poet. You know, always looking crisp, always looking nice, always building people, always looking out for me and my brother. You know, because of him and banging with UAP back in the day, making music, my brother never got jumped. Thank God, I never got jumped. You feel me? Never had to really fight like that. Made a couple of orders and stuff like that. So, like I said, at the end of the day, you know, we got to just be better as a people. And I just also want to say something too, man. Just to commend what you're doing, man. It's real, man. I think sometimes, you know, we just don't know how real it is, man, when you make a difference in the lives of people. And we just commend you too, Masuka, of what you're doing too. Just talking to a couple of my guys, man, just this week, man, and just, you know, just appreciating what we're doing. And it was like, yo, bro, when we was growing up, we didn't see no pastor taking interest in talking to us or showing us love, and yeah, that's a fact. Never getting jumped. That's a fact. You feel me? That's right, Jenny. Jenny's showing us mad love here. I mean, just talk. I mean, that's why we just need to keep just doing what we're doing, man. You know what I'm saying? Not seeing things that we've been doing. And, you know, just the big homies, the big OGs, just letting us know, man, just keep doing what y'all guys are doing, you know what I'm saying? Because I know Crown Heights need it. I know East Flatbush needs it. I know Canarsie needs it. I know all the hoods across America need it. And I'm just asking all the churches, man. You know, when you take in your community, the person that's typically the bad person you may think will not come for you. You understand? Because you're building a relationship. They'll let you know, like, when there's a shootout, don't go. Today's not good to go. You see what I'm saying? This person that come with that, they look out for you. You can walk home 4 o'clock in the morning and you're good. Your mom could have her groceries and they're picking up her groceries. Be like, what is this? You see what I'm saying? So there's perks that come with it. I'm just keeping it real with you. I mean, Malcolm understood it. Martin understood it. You understand? And I feel like we as a church, we just need to be a little bit more understanding. I know that people may not dress like us or talk like us or hang like us, but the gospel's for everybody. It's not just for just hood people. It's for everybody. You know what?
Jews and Gentiles.
Jews and for Gentiles. You know what I'm saying? My man said keep it 100. I gotta keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? So I just feel like a lot of times we as a church, we have neglected the ghettos. You know, we have neglected the blue collar workers. Even the people who are coming in, we call them gentrifiers. We just need to really just go out there and really help the people. Because let me tell you something. When you're consistent, there's a fine print that comes with that. You see what I'm saying? So I want to just encourage you, my guy, and just keep doing what we're doing because people see what's going on. People hear what's going on. Let's be consistent and know that everything that we're doing is not in vain. People are being inspired. People are being touched. People are being touched by what you're doing, Masuka. Nothing is not in vain. Just keep building, and I'm telling you, we're gonna be good. But we have a lot of work to do. So,
amen.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. On that same note, that's why we're trying to get the 501c3 right now. We're working on that to become a non-for-profit. We incorporated the Real Word Ministries, and we're just making different strides. You too said something important about mental health being a stigma within our community, and us keeping our feelings and emotions bottled in because of our color, almost like we're like mourners, almost, in a sense that. I'll give you an example. I remember when I was younger, one of my friends got into a car accident, and he was paralyzed from the waist down, and he became paraplegic. His spine was severed in half, almost. He had to wear a body cast for like a year. And when it first happened, we were all shook. But the first thing that came into our mind was like violence, almost, and we were upset. Like, I was upset, but I did not know what to do with the pain. And he had an aunt in the room, and the aunt was very smart in the sense that she was like, this is the issue with men versus women. Like, women, when they experience pain, they can cry, they can talk about it, and they let it out, and then they keep it going. A man keeps the pain inside, and it bottles up inside, and it eats him. Either he lets it out in a negative way, or he hurts someone else, or he hurts himself.
Hurt people.
And then she was like, why is it so hard for a man to cry? And I remember that day, the very next day, I was walking from my house to the bus stop, because I was in college at the time, and it started raining. And as it rained, I looked out to the clouds, and I was like, thank God for the rain, because now the rain could hide my tears. And I cried on the way to the bus. And even later on in life, I remember I was in a car accident, and I had a friend, like, I guess he was suffering from, like, some mental health issues at that time. I guess that's the only way that you could really describe what occurred. And, like, we got into a car, and he felt that day he wanted to crash the car into another car, not because of any mechanical failure or because he was incoherent or drunk or anything of that nature. He just, as he puts it, he had a lot on his mind that he didn't want to deal with anymore. So, the end result of that is he was perfectly fine, but I was hurt mentally and physically. And for a while, I dealt with post-traumatic stress. And for a year, I couldn't get into a car as a passenger. So I went to go see therapy. And I remember after my first therapy session, the whole ride home, as I was driving myself home, I cried the whole ride home. And even now, sometimes, like, when I'm in the car alone and I get certain thoughts or I think about certain things, like, I'll cry. When no one's around and I'm by myself and I think of certain things, I cry. Because, like, when I was younger, I used to, I guess, show how I feel in violence, I could say. And Kevin Gates gave the best quote. He said, God saved me, but in the process, he saved a lot of people too. As in, because God saved me, like, he was like, people used to call me a monster, until God saved me. And I felt like, at one sense, I used to exhibit violence all the time because that's how I knew how to that's where my power came from, and that's where my pain went. And by the grace of God, like, I changed. So I could understand when someone say, yo, I suffered from depression. I suffered from depression for a while, and people did not understand.
If only people knew how many people were going through depression, you'd be surprised. Like, there's so many people out there dealing with it.
And it's weird because people are like, okay, well, how you suffer from depression? Like, you look like you're living a decent life, you look like you're having fun. I'm like, yeah, but at the end of the day, when I go home, I'm alone. At that time, I didn't have a connection with God. I didn't have someone that I could love that loved me back. I didn't have a family, I could have my mother and father and everybody else, but at that time I was living alone. A man not supposed to be alone. So I had these superficial people around me, but I didn't have no actual people around me, Now it's different, now I'm really in tune with the spirit. I have a family that I could see every day, things of that nature, so it's different. Even now, when I'm in big crowds, I feel like, I always tell you this, right? Yeah. I'll tell you I hate big crowds, because I feel like from the big crowds, it's fake love. I'd rather be home, holding the kids, laying in bed with my wife, that's real love. My wife gets mad at me when I come home late, because she's she don't want to sleep in the bed alone. She's been in the hospital because she just gave birth for the last 2 nights, and she don't want to be in the hospital alone, That's a different kind of love, you understand? Not a lot of people get to experience that type of love, and I feel like that really helped me a lot. Today I was talking to the elders in my church. I was like, yo, how come y'all don't sit with your wives at the dinner table?
What's up with that?
Weird.
They don't?
And I was like,
oh.
And I said, it's your wife that helped you get to that table. So for your wife not to sit at that table, maybe you shouldn't sit at that table.
Wow.
And it was like, some of our wives are busy, blah, blah. I said, all right, so next time make sure you fix that situation, because I'd rather sit next to my wife than sit at a table with a bunch of old men.
Right.
That's a fact.
That's just my opinion.
That's a fact. And I did that too. I remember when I was growing up in the church, I would see the men sit by themselves on one side, and the woman and the children would sit on another side. And that to me was weird to me. I didn't understand at all. Let me tell you something about
the truth is, bro, a lot of these guys in church, they have mistresses in church. That's why they don't sit next to them.
Let me tell you something.
That's why they say, a lot of broken churches, broken churches, they start with broken homes, and even the family dynamic thing, that's something that we need to address in church.
Let me tell you something. When I get married to my wife, she's sitting next to me. She can sit on my lap whenever she wants. I'm keeping it real. Also too, before I preach, she'll sit next to me, she'll hold my hands, give me a little kissy here and there, you heard? And we gonna dance, we gonna have fun, and we gonna turn up. Cause I want to add to Rickard too, there's a lot of, I'm not gonna put nobody on blast, but there's people that are elders, they have wives, they sleep in one bed and sleep in another bed. That joint is crazy to me, you feel me? Come on guys, you guys gotta enjoy your wives. Have sex with your wife. Yay! Come on now. Try it. You're married. Nothing wrong with that. Come on now. He says that can't even touch their wives or kiss their wives or love their wives. Come on, guys. But then they're gonna say, oh, why are you touching your wife?
Right.
What? You can't tell me that.
That's something that you should be doing.
You be doing. Enjoy your wife. Come on, guys. Enjoy your wife. Enjoy your husband. We men gotta step up. So salute to that. That's beautiful, bro. Wow.
Masuka, you were saying something about a lot of broken families in the church. What do you mean by that?
I think a lot of the issues that are present in our church right now are just, let me not even say the SC church, just churches in general. It comes from broken families. Even when you see how people act or how a child may act in church, it comes from, maybe how they may be acting at home. And there's so many members and so many young people who are hurting because of the dynamics of their families. You have families that don't speak to one another. You have, parents that they act one way with you at church, but when it's home, it's a completely different, it's 2 different people at home and in church. So you may be seeing, your family member, your parents, putting on this front for church families, for church people, and then when they're at home, they're acting nothing like that. So that creates a lot of issues in a church too, and even and those individuals are dealing with it.
And unfortunately, your family is your first ministry.
Exactly.
I think cats don't understand that. People need to understand that. You see, there are 3 things that are sacred as the Sabbath. There's family, there's marriage, and there's sex in marriage. Those things are sacred to God as the Sabbath. And I think we need to understand that. Once you honor God, you honor God through your marriage, you honor God through your family, you honor God through sex in marriage. God honors you. And I think a lot of guys don't get that. I think if they focus on board meetings and meeting in boards and this and that, focus on minors when their family is losing. That's why half of these elders, man, they girls are loose and they men want to be thugs. I mean, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? That's right, right? That's right, Tariq.
So let me ask you guys a question, right?
Yes.
If the elder's wife is not Seventh-day Adventist, can that elder be an elder in the church?
Well, I mean, if they're together, I think it's all about conversion. It's all about conversion. He has to be converted. Well, like I said, speaking to a lot of couples who are, one is Adventist or one is Baptist, I think a lot of these sisters understand the role of submissiveness, and I want to explain what submissiveness is. So when it comes clear,
he's on the second face.
I know, it's because whenever people bring this up, like, you know, it's going somewhere else.
Let me break it down. So simple. So the thing is that the Bible says that husband love your wives as Christ loved the church, and the Bible also says that wives must be subject unto their husbands as to Christ. So why is it that Christ became a man? Well, Christ became a man because Adam was responsible and accountable for the woman, and when Adam allowed the woman to eat from the fruit when he was there, and he blamed it on the woman, and he said, the woman that you gave me made me do it, he abdicated responsibility and accountability. You follow me? So when he abdicated responsibility and accountability, he basically lost his manhood. So that's why Christ became the second Adam.
I hear that?
So he could man up for Adam. You follow me? So what did Jesus do? Oh, I see the girls loving this. Look. You see, look. So what did Christ do for the church? Christ, that's right, cuz, I see you. What did Christ do for the church? Christ basically sacrificed his life to the church. Christ gave his everything to the church. Christ placed the church first before he placed himself. And what's the role of the church? The role of the church is to please Christ. So in your marriage, the man is Christ. The woman, the woman is the church. So the man is supposed to sacrifice his life and everything for the church, which is wife, which is the church, right?
I like that
and
analogy.
The church is supposed to please Christ like her husband. And that's submission. That's it.
Okay, Sander.
That's submission. Submission.
I think submission has, I think there's a component that doesn't only deal with pleasing.
No, I'm talking about holistically.
I know, but
holistically. I'm not talking about just sexually. I'm talking about
I know, not sexual, but I think that there's another aspect of submission, because even as a woman, you know, you may be able to submit to your husband and you want to please him, but I feel like pleasing him, you can't just say that like that. It comes with certain limits, because if your husband wants you to do something that is pleasing to him that is completely opposite of what God wants,
but why would he want to do that?
But no, but that's what I'm saying. You can't just say it's pleasing the man alone, because you know the man is human, and if you know, let's say he isn't aligned with God, or in a moment he's not aligned with God, you can't just, that can't be your number one priority, pleasing your man, because you please God first.
No,
you know?
definitely you want to please. Of course, I mean that's a given.
Yeah.
Of course, that's a given.
But that goes back to what we were saying. What if the man's in the church but the woman's not? Can that man be an elder?
Well, it depends on the situation. When the Bible tells you that, let's say for example, you wasn't saved, and let's say you wasn't saved right before, but you got saved before the woman that you got with. The Bible says that the Bible says you shouldn't leave your wife. You shouldn't leave your wife by you being in the church, and you being led by and you being an example. Eventually, you know, based on how you treat her, she'll be convinced and everything like that. Like I said, I see situations where brothers who come correct, who come right, and who are men of God, who are living right, and they date girls that are outside the denomination or different denomination, and based on the way they carry themselves, you know, they just switch. They just come where the man is at the end of the day. You follow me? Because the way he treats her, the way he compliments her, the way he encourages her. So I'm all about that. That's why I said we represent Christ, the way Christ treated the church. We see numerous examples of how Christ treated sanctified the church, how he sacrificed for the church, how he thought of the church, how he always loved the church. And that's our end when it comes to submission. That's our end. And the church end is to please and to be a team player.
So do you think it's different though? Because I hear that you mentioned, you were like, you've seen a lot of men, they date outside of the church and stuff like that. So going back to what you were saying, like let's say it's not a situation where an elder's involved. But do you think, and I guess this question is for you too, like do you think it's different? I'm not gonna look like I'm the host. Do you think it will be different if it will be a woman who's in the church and she's dating a guy outside the church?
Well, that happens all the time.
Yeah, it does.
That happens all the time.
When I met my wife, she was an SDA, but then we started dating. She started coming to church with us, and then we actually got baptized together.
Yeah, but you're the man in that situation. But let's say like the woman, she's the one who's Christian, and she's dating a man who isn't. Do the rules apply for you guys?
I would have suggested.
I'll give you an example.
Oh, but I would have suggested. But if he's a strong man, a good man, I don't see why, and he's open-minded, I don't see what's the problem.
So you wouldn't suggest a woman date a man outside the church?
I would suggest a man or a woman.
Okay.
But if the intention, like with our situation, is the intention is marriage and it's long-term, and it's like, this is the goal, we have a vision, I don't see why not.
An example would be my aunt. My aunt was in the church, and she started to date the guy who's her husband now. He was an SDA, but now he converted years ago, and now he's elder in the church. So
yeah, like I said, I think it's all about vision and goals. Because like I said, what are we doing? What is the plan? You follow me? It's either we're gonna be together for real, or we're not gonna be together, and this is part of it.
Yeah.
And I see situations where people who are in the faith, but the husband may not be in the faith, but the husband doesn't give the wife a hard time at all, and vice versa, and they support. But it does not involve interest, it's not their thing. But the Bible tells you clearly that by you living right, they're saved. Your house is saved.
Sanctified, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But eventually they'll come by. And that's always the case.
And vice versa. There's people inside of church that go to church every week that's worse than
and they're not converted. Yeah. They do voodoo and they into all that.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they rape and I don't know, it's not snitching. You understand? That's a fact.
Yeah, man. So you saying earlier about you went to Ghana, right? And you saying basically that you got to witness one of the slave castles, and that on top of the slave castle was a church.
Yeah, so in Ghana at Cape Coast Slave Castle, there's actually, there's different parts of it. So there's the actual male and female dungeons.
Now somebody
and then there's the...
Somebody said, are we encouraging people to date outside their faith? We're not suggesting that people should at all. We're saying that for people before they came to their faith, people who came before to their faith, let's say for example, I wasn't a Christian, okay, and I met somebody. Okay, I'm not a Christian, and I was dating somebody, but I found God first. You follow me? But I love the person, and we're together. You follow me? I'm not going to drop her. You follow me? But I'm going to build. You see what I'm saying? That's what we're saying. That's all I'm saying.
And plus, again, Jesus came for Jews and Gentiles.
That's a fact.
If you're talking with someone, before you can even build a relationship, there's a friendship first. So why can't you invite a friend to church, And if your friend starts going to church with you and then it becomes relationship, then that's something different.
You can, but I think it's important to outline that you shouldn't be trying to, minister to the person you're dating to.
No, you shouldn't.
Meaning, that shouldn't be the intention. Don't go into a relationship, trying to say that, I'm, I know I'm a Christian. I know they're not Christian, but I'm gonna get them in because it sometimes it doesn't work out that way.
Yeah, of course, they ought to choose it for themselves.
That's a fact.
So keep those principles in mind. There's still something called being unequally yoked.
That's a fact.
Yeah, that's true.
And being equally yoked is not more than just spiritual. It's everything. For example, you can't say that you want a man that is kind, but you're mean. You feel me? You can't say that you want a girl that's making moves, but you're lazy. Whatever you're looking for, you gotta match that. So it's all holistic, then 100% and everything like that.
Of course. Going back to what you were saying about when you was in Ghana.
Oh yeah, so in the
it's her.
In the Cape Coast slave castle, so there's like the female and male dungeons, and then there's another quarter where it's living quarters for the people that were like the chiefs or the people that were like the white people. And then right on top of the slave castle, there's actually a church. So it's really mind-boggling to think that there was a church functioning around this time while there was a whole slave trade going on under them. But they justified it, and they thought that, they justified, the actions that were going on below them. But when I went over there and we were being shown the church, I was just like, how could, people say that they're serving God, yet they're putting God's children, they're subjecting them to these conditions. So yeah, that's something that we were talking about too. We were talking about how a lot of times people use religion to justify their wrongs.
Someone once said, just because something's legal doesn't mean that it's right. Because something is biblical doesn't mean that it's spiritual. Can I explain that? Let me explain that. At one point, slavery was legal. In the Bible, people had slaves. In the Bible, the Israelites were slaves until they were set free. But then even some of the kings and queens, they had servants, they had slaves, they had indentured servants. In the book, David took a man's wife, put him in the front of the battlefield so he could get killed, and then David's son raped his daughter, things of that nature. Jesus' great-grandmother was a prostitute. It's different things. That's why, like this criminal once told me, the Bible could be used to either defend something good or to defend something bad, depending on who's using it. It's just like a gun. The Bible's just like a gun.
Especially since nowadays, I think that a lot of people, for them, they think that the Bible is like up to interpretation of who's reading it. And that's why it's so important that when you're reading the Word, you make sure that you invite the Holy Spirit before you even get started on it. Because if I take any verse in the Bible, like anybody can literally turn it into something that serves them. So you kind of have to be careful of who you're listening to, what you're consuming, because it all has to do with the interpretation of it. So yeah, you're absolutely right.
It's almost like sorcery, almost. Because you're using the words to manipulate people's minds and to elate certain emotions that conveys their thinking into a certain way. That's why when you go to theology school, they make you study all religions, and then you pick the one that you want to master, and then you go into that craft. Basically, a musician works his craft and uses that craft to manipulate the people to do what it is that he wants to do.
Well said. Powerful.
So, I gotta make moves, guys. So let's close out. Closing thoughts.
Let's just guys. Let's just be more productive. Let's be more fruitful, and let's really go out in our community, because a lot of our communities are hurting. A lot of communities are dealing with things. Let's just really go out and really help the people in our community.
Any last comments from the people, or no? We good?
No comments.
What about you, Mr. Cameau?
I guess going along with what Sander said, we do have a lot of communities that are hurting. We have a lot of people that are hurting. So just be mindful of that when you're interacting with people. You never know what somebody's going through. You never know what they may be feeling. And if you are the one feeling those emotions, don't be afraid to seek out help. Don't think that you can get through this and that you just want to be strong. Prayer works and all these things, but there's also something called therapy, and there's other practical ways of dealing with it. So if you're hurting, don't be afraid to seek help. And if you're just not hurting, then be mindful that there are people that are hurting. So kind of look out for that, and don't be a jerk to people, because people are hurting.
Amen, amen. What I would like to tell people is just, educate yourself. Educate yourself in all type of ways, like read the Bible, but also read up on history, read up on politics, read up on government, things of that nature. I remember when I was younger, I never used to read my Bible, and some people used to use it against me. Now that I'm older and understand the Bible better, like I can have these, mental warfare with these type of people, depending on how they want to use certain words and what conversations that are spoken about. Just defend your brain and defend your family. Don't let other people's minds, I guess, or other people's misconceptions become your reality, because people like to do that to you sometimes, make you think the way they think, you know? Is it be able to be a free mind, you know, and just look out for one another, each one teach one, and hopefully we'll grow. You know, one day there'll be another savior or messiah that will rise. It might be against us, whoever it is, it's in you. You just gotta stop being scared. On that closing note, who would like to pray?
I pray, Father God, order our steps, keep us in a sound mind, and help us to continue to move forward into what you want us to be. In Jesus' name we do pray. Amen.
Thank you for watching, guys. See you next week. If you want to donate, www.gofundme.com/TheRealWord. That's www.gofundme.com/TheRealWord. You can subscribe to our YouTube, www.youtube.com/C for channel /TheRealWord TV. That's www.youtube.com/C for channel /TheRealWord TV. And thank you for joining us. Thank you, Masuka, for coming on today.
Yeah.
Thank you to my co-host that's here with me every week, Pastor Sander Cameau. Thank you to you, all the viewers, watchers, supporters, everybody that's been here with us since day one. We appreciate you. Peace.
Amen. What a good show.